There is a silent crisis unfolding in the employment-based immigration system right now, and the numbers released in the February 2026 Visa Bulletin confirm what many experts have feared for months. The backlog isn't just stalling, it is actively collapsing backward. For the first time in a long time, we are seeing a significant retrogression in the EB1 category for India and China, the Einstein visa tier that was supposed to be the fast track for the world's most brilliant minds. This isn't just a delay, it is a structural failure of the supply and demand mechanism that underpins legal immigration. If you are waiting for a green card, specifically in the employment sectors, the dates I am about to reveal could mean the difference between filing this month or waiting another 2 years in limbo. Welcome to Immigration News Desk, where we strip away the bureaucratic jargon and expose the hard realities of the U.S. immigration system. I am here today to dissect the February 2026 Visa Bulletin, a document that dictates the fate of millions, but is understood by few. This month's report is a mixed bag of incremental progress and devastating setbacks, revealing a system that is groaning under the weight of unprecedented demand. We are going to break down the specific dates for every major category, explain the geopolitical forces driving these shifts, and give you the strategic advice you need to protect your status in an increasingly hostile regulatory environment. If you rely on a visa to live and work in the United States, you cannot afford to be passive. Hit that subscribe button right now, turn on notifications, and let's get into the data that will define your year. To understand why this bulletin matters, we have to look at the mechanics of the green card allocation system. The Immigration Act of 1990 set hard caps on how many people can immigrate annually, roughly 140,000 for employment and 226,000 for family preference. These numbers haven't changed in 36 years, despite the U.S. economy doubling in size. The result is a funnel that is too narrow for the volume of talent trying to enter. When demand exceeds supply in a specific category, the State Department essentially hits the brakes. They retrogress the dates, moving the cutoff line backward in time to stop new people from filing green card applications. This is a liquidity control measure for human capital, designed to prevent the USCIS adjudication pipeline from bursting. Let's start with the most critical update, the employment-based categories. This is where the economic war for talent is being fought, and right now, the U.S. is losing ground. The headline news is the retrogression in EB1 for India and China. For years, EB1, extraordinary ability, outstanding researchers, multinational managers, was the safe harbor. It was usually current, meaning no wait. But in February 2026, the dates for India and China have slipped backward by 2 weeks to August 1, 2023. 2 weeks might sound minor, but in the world of immigration, it is a tremor that signals an earthquake. It means the spillover visas from other categories are gone. It means the demand for EB1 has skyrocketed as applicants from the backlogged EB2 and EB3 categories try to upgrade their petitions to escape the decade-long waits. The lifeboat is now full. This retrogression is a symptom of a broader systemic risk, the cannibalization of visa categories. When EB2, advanced degree, wait times for India hit 10 or 15 years, thousands of applicants naturally tried to qualify for EB1. This surged the demand, clogging the only remaining fast lane. If you are an Indian or Chinese national with an approved EB1 petition, and your priority date is after August 1, 2023, you are now stuck. You cannot file for adjustment of status, Form I-485. You cannot get your employment authorization document, EAD, or advance parole. You are frozen in place. This is why we constantly warn against complacency. In immigration, current today does not mean current tomorrow. However, it is not all bad news. For the rest of the world, meaning applicants from countries other than India and China, we are seeing steady forward momentum. In the EB3 category, professionals and skilled workers, the final action dates have advanced by roughly 5.7 weeks to June 1, 2023. This is a healthy pace. It suggests that USCIS is clearing the backlog of pandemic-era cases and is moving efficiently through the queue. If you are a nurse from the Philippines, an engineer from Brazil, or a chef from France, The window is opening. But there is a catch. The dates for filing chart, which allows you to submit your application even if a visa isn't immediately available, is even more aggressive, sitting at October 1st, 2023. This 3-month gap between filing and final action is a strategic opportunity. It allows you to get your foot in the door, get your work permit, and stabilize your life while you wait for the green card to be minted. Now let's pivot to the family-based categories, because there is a geopolitical shift happening here that is fascinating. We are seeing significant movement for Mexico. For decades, Mexican nationals faced some of the longest wait times due to high demand and per-country caps. But in February 2026, the F1 category, unmarried sons and daughters of U.S. citizens, for Mexico jumped forward by 3.7 months to December 22, 2006. That is nearly 4 months of progress in a single bulletin. Why is this happening? It is a combination of efficient consular processing at the U.S. Embassy in Mexico City and Ciudad Juarez, and a potential demographic shift where fewer petitions are being filed or older petitions are being abandoned. The F2A category, spouses and children of permanent residents, brings perhaps the most crucial actionable intel of this entire report. The dates for filing for F2A across all countries has moved to January 22, 2026. Do the math. We are in February 2026. That date is effectively current. This means that if you are a green card holder and you marry a foreign national who is legally in the U.S., you can file for their green card immediately. There is virtually no wait time to file. This is a massive anomaly. Historically, F2A had a 2-year wait. This window of opportunity is open right now, but it is fragile. If demand spikes, the State Department will slam it shut. If you are eligible, you must file your I-130 and I-485 concurrently now. Do not wait for March. Do not wait for your anniversary. File now. Let's do a deep dive into the India problem, specifically regarding EB2 and EB3. The EB2 final action date for India remains stuck at July 15, 2013. We need to be honest about what this date represents. It represents a lost generation of talent. If you applied for a green card in late 2013, you have been waiting over 12 years. And you are still waiting. This isn't a queue, it is a parking lot. The reason the date isn't moving is simple. The sheer volume of applicants from 2011, 2012, and 2013 is so massive that the annual quota of roughly 2,800 visas for India EB2 gets exhausted instantly every fiscal year. Without legislative intervention from Congress to remove per-country caps, this date will continue to inch forward by days while the calendar moves by years. This is the definition of a broken system. For our religious workers in the EB4 category, the news remains grim. The date is stuck at January 1, 2021. This category has been severely impacted by policy changes regarding how special immigrant juveniles, SIJ, are counted. Essentially, thousands of minors fleeing violence in Central America were added to this queue, displacing the traditional religious ministers and workers. If you are a church or religious organization sponsoring a worker, you need to look for alternatives like the R1 visa, because the green card path is currently a 5-year wait, minimum. Now, I want to talk about a hidden danger in this bulletin that most people miss: the risk of aging out. With these retrogression dates, children of applicants are in serious danger of turning 21 and falling off their parents' applications. The Child Status Protection Act, CSPA, helps, but it is complex. Your CSPA age is locked in based on when the visa becomes available. If the dates retrogress, move backward, you lose that lock-in protection. This recent backward movement in EB1 means that hundreds of children who thought they were safe are now back in the danger zone. If you have a child approaching 21, you need to calculate their CSPA age immediately. If they are at risk, you might need to look at separate student visas, F1, to keep them in the country legally if they age out. We also need to discuss the dates for filing versus final action dates strategy. USCIS has confirmed they will accept employment-based filings based on the dates for filing chart this month. This is a gift. The dates for filing are almost always more generous. It allows you to secure advance parole, permission to travel, and an EAD card years before you actually get the green card. This status gives you portability, meaning you can change jobs after 180 days without restarting the green card process under AC-21. If you are eligible to file under this chart, do it. It breaks the shackles that tie you to a single employer. It gives you leverage in the labor market. Looking macroeconomically, what does this bulletin tell us about the U.S. immigration strategy? It tells us that the system is prioritizing immediate labor needs over long-term structural fixes. The rapid movement in EB3, skilled workers, suggests a desperate need to fill jobs in healthcare, IT, and engineering from the general global pool. Meanwhile, the stagnation in India-China EB2 suggests a calculated indifference to the backlog of tech workers already here on H-1B visas. The government knows these workers are stuck. They are already working and paying taxes, so there is no political urgency to give them green cards. They are captive capital. So, what is the strategic play for you watching this? First, if you are in a retrogressed category, like EB1 India-China, do not panic, but do not sit idle. Ensure your underlying non-immigrant status, H-1B, L1, O1, is rock solid. You might be on it for longer than you planned. Retrogression usually corrects itself in October when the new fiscal year starts and the visa counters reset. Use this time to prepare your documents so you are ready to file the second the dates bounce back. Second, if you are in a category that just opened up, like F2A or EB3 rest of world, speed is your best friend. Gather your birth certificates, your tax transcripts, and your medical exams now. Visa bulletins are fluid. A category that is current in February could retrogress in May if USCIS receives a flood of applications. We call this the bullwhip effect. A surge in demand causes a reactionary crackdown in supply. You want to be at the front of that wave, not behind it. Third, watch out for the interfiling trap. Some lawyers recommend downgrading from EB2 to EB3 to capture the faster dates. This can work, but it is risky. If EB3 retrogresses later, which often happens, you could end up stuck in a worse position than where you started. Downgrading requires a nuanced analysis of the priority date trends. Do not do it blindly. In conclusion, the February 2026 Visa Bulletin is a stark reminder that the U.S. immigration system is a managed economy of human lives. It is governed by quotas, caps, and geopolitical priorities that have nothing to do with fairness. But within this rigid framework, there are opportunities for the tactical applicant. By understanding the data, predicting the trends, and acting decisively, you can navigate the maze. This is why Immigration News Desk exists. We monitor the State Department's cables, the USCIS policy manuals, and the raw data to give you the edge. Immigration is not just a legal process, it is a competitive one. The people who get green cards are the ones who treat their application like a job. If this deep dive analysis gave you clarity in a confusing time, hit that like button. It tells the algorithm that serious, factual content matters. Share this video with your networks, your WhatsApp groups, your colleagues, your family. The more informed we are as a community, the better we can advocate for ourselves. Leave a comment below with your priority date and category. I want to see where the bottlenecks are hurting you the most. Stay vigilant, stay documented, and keep fighting for your place in this country. We will see you in the next briefing.